Yo, what's that word? Third 12 Inning Podcast, episode, I believe 57. 56 also gonna
Yes,
come out
sir.
around the same time. We got a lot of interesting topics, a lot of varied topics tonight. Um, I know y'all gonna enjoy this episode. Go subscribe to all the channels. Get in the comments on this video because I know y'all gonna disagree with our selection for this particular video. I know our fandom works. Um, but without further ado, we get right into it. So the first thing we talk about, because I feel like it's going to be the longest and the most entertaining, would be who's going to win each NFL division. Um, we can start with the first division. In my opinion, the best division, the AFC East. We got the Bills, Dolphins, Jets, and Patriots. Khalil, who would you have winning the AFC East?
Uh, I'm gonna go out on a limb here, and I'm gonna say the Jets. Uh, and pretty much, I feel like as long as Aaron Rodgers stay healthy, that gives them a good chance to kind of come in. They already have a good defense. They got good receiving core added Mike Williams, so I definitely can see them taking over the division this year.
You got Mr. Byron.
Hey, when it comes to the AFC East, I'm biased. I bleed green, so JETS, stand up. Especially with the departure of Stephon Diggs, Josh Allen's main weapon. I feel like, and then they lost a lot of the defensive side players as well. I think the Bills are definitely going to take a step down, and I don't think with the addition of all of our new weapons, our defense already being top tier. All we need is Aaron Rodgers to stay healthy. Teach Jordan Travis the lay of the land, teach him the game, teach him everything that he knows. While he's going through this season, I feel like the Jets, man, gonna take it.
I feel like I know what my heart is telling me because I'm a Jets fan, Jets. And I feel like we're
I'm
gonna take
down
the
here.
division. A part of my head is telling me, analytical mind is telling me the Dolphins. Um, just because adding Odell to an already explosive offense. Um, Chop Robertson, I think, is going to improve them on third down pass rushing wise. But I'm going to go with my squad. I think, again, if Aaron can stay healthy this year, I'm sorry for the cat noise. I can't stop them, y'all. But if Aaron Rodgers can stay healthy this year, then I expect us to win. We also have an explosive offense. Didn't show it last year, but when you got bums out there throwing the football, that sort of type of thing happens. I love Garrett Wilson, Mike Williams, and we got to get another receiver. Malachi Corley, I like the third round pick that we had. Brees
Yeah.
Hall, the offensive line has improved a lot. I'm not, I can't say I'm the hugest Robert Saleh fan as the coach.
Yeah.
But the defense has been elite since he got there, and I expect the defense to be fighting, especially with the defense of the addition of Hassan Reddick from the Eagles. It was tough seeing Huff walk out that door, but Hassan, he's a more accomplished defensive player, a bigger name, and I think he's going to get the team to rally around him. It was surprising to see him get traded there, especially because I wanted to see Will McDonald was our first round pick last year. He didn't get many reps, and you kind of traded for somebody who's going to start in front of him. But I don't question the Jets on the defensive end. I think we're going to be elite on the defensive end again. And we just need Aaron and them to take care of the ball, put up around, anywhere from 20 to 25 points. And I think we have a good chance to maybe even get home court in the playoffs. So last year, I mean, we was right there. I think we went 7-9. And again, we had
Yeah.
we had
Nothing.
bums out there throwing the ball. Every week it was a different quarterback. So at the end of the day, I'm gonna go with the Jets. That's my long-winded way of saying that.
I'm good.
The
Yeah, stand up.
AFC North. It was the AFC North. So we got the Ravens, Bengals, Browns, and Steelers. Who you got, Byron?
King Henry. Shout out the Ravens. that additional pickup of Derrick Henry and that run game that Ravens are already. That's what they do. They already seen that when that mistake that they made in the championship game, not running the ball, not being them, not sticking to their identity. Now they got another workhorse in Derrick Henry, who's going to bring more people down in the box, attract a lot more attention, and going to open up the passing game a lot more for explosive receivers like Zay Flowers, people for Andrews, things like that. Likely with the resurgence of him lately last year, I feel like the Ravens are definitely going to take it, especially, knock on wood. I don't wish injuries on anybody, but Joe Burrow hasn't really been staying healthy. The T. Higgins contract thing going on. Deshaun Watson hasn't been himself in years. And you got two quarterbacks who they don't even know who's going to be the quarterback. So I feel like the Ravens can definitely take this division.
I'd have to say the Ravens as well. Division's pretty much just set up for them to win. You don't know what you're going to get from the Bengals. As far as there's a lot of probably inside stuff going on with them. Some players' heads might not be right. Steelers pretty much speak for themselves. I don't know the lot. I mean, they haven't had a losing season, but when's the last time that they've done anything outside of spectacular? And then Browns, even though they have a good defense, quarterback hasn't shown that he's reliable yet. He's been out the game for quite a while. Didn't seem like he really could adjust to coming in last year, especially with that big contract. Definitely didn't live up to that. And then the Ravens added a good piece on defense and Nate Wiggins. The Ravens, I feel like, have the best defense in the league, so all they're doing is adding to it. They did lose Patrick Queen to a division rival, but I think with how good their defense is, it's not going to be that big of an issue for them to keep that production there at that position. And then you have Lamar Jackson, who's a top 3 quarterback in the league. So
I want to harp on something real quick about when you said the Bengals. Joe Shiesty, that dude, that line is ass. Sorry, that line is trash. They are.
We could say ass, brother.
Okay, yeah, they not it. The line is not it, man. If Joe Shiesty had some good tackles, I feel like he could definitely be that guy in this league for sure. Amongst Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes, who's the man. But that line sucks. That line, like. They got me, you, and B out there blocking, and yeah.
Hey, you sleep,
Joe Burrow almost died. Yeah, nah. That 350, 360 pounds land on you, it's a wrap.
What?
I know I got 2 broke thumbs to prove it.
Chop block.
Yeah, it's wild.
I get why y'all said the Ravens. The reason I'm not going with the Ravens, though, is because they did lose a lot of key free agents this year. Now, we know they're great at drafting, but I think that defense is going to take a little bit of a step back with losing some of their key guys. And it's getting slightly a little bit older with some players there on the back end. Losing Odell, I think they're going to feel the impact of that. So I have to say I'm actually going with the Bengals to win this division. I love what the Bengals did with their first-round pick, picking up Amarius Mims from Georgia. Only had 8 starts in college total, but again, he played for Georgia. And when he got into the game, obviously to only have 8 starts but be a number 1 or first-round pick shows your potential. Another behemoth along the offensive line. They got Trent Brown and Orlando Brown as well. And they averaged all 3 of those guys around 6'8", 340 pounds. So big dudes. They needed help at guard. I believe they addressed the offensive line this year. I expect them to be massively better. And if Joe can stay healthy, man, when he was healthy, I think he was the second best quarterback in the league. And a guaranteed top 5 quarterback in the league. So if he's healthy. T. Higgins and there's another player on the defense. I think Trey Hendrickson both requested trades, so they got to get those situations figured out. But I think they got the talent on both sides of the football. I believe in their coaching staff. They got a great scheme. So the Ravens, again, with King Henry and Lamar, going to be dangerous on the ground. Mark Andrews, likely, all those guys, they're going to be dangerous. But I just see the Bengals as having more explosive offense and a consistent enough defense. And I think they're going to pull it out in this division. Um, and we got to see. I mean, the Ravens, they're dependent on Lamar hasn't always been healthy with his running style, and Derek is getting up there in age. He hasn't been majorly healthy. I'm not poo-pooing. I think it's going to be a close division race, definitely between those two. And I think the Browns have a chance if Deshaun get back right. But Nick Chubb is going to carry them as he's carried them since he got into the league. Amari Cooper, Elijah Moore, they got a lot of talent on that defense too. And the Steelers, they never had a losing season with Mike Tomlin seemingly. So if Mike Tomlin can get out of Russell Wilson, who I think is going to be the starter, if he can get him more comfortable with the good receivers, George Pickens. I like George Pickens.
I like George Pickens.
Yeah, I like George Pickens, but that defense is going to carry them. It's going to be a tough division battle. This division, as it seemingly always is going to be the bloodbath of the whole entire league. But I got the Bengals there.
Yeah,
AFC South. What happened?
That's probably the best division in the league right now, to me. Anyway, defensive wise. Let me stop that. Defensive wise.
There's one more I can think of.
Yeah, defensive.
Okay, so let's go to the AFC South. We got Texans, Colts, them Jaguars, Duval, and the Titans. Who y'all got winning that one? Between Duval, the Titans, the Colts, and the Texans.
It's gonna be a race, man. Like you said, with those last two teams, with the last division, between the Texans and the Jags, it's definitely gonna be a fight. I think I listened to a show. They always call him the Prince, but what's his name? Travis, right?
Trevor
Quarterback.
Trevor
There you go. My fault. Trevor Lawrence. I can get the last name, but Trevor Lawrence. I feel like this is gonna be the year for him that he actually shows his potential. I feel like in these recent years, obviously, with the initial coach and then changing coaches, just terrible, just terrible picking up the head coach to try to run try to run this team, run that organization. I feel like now with an actual, at least somewhat more stable head coach, great development in the quarterback room. You got Mac Jones now, I guess, as a guy to push his peer because they're literally in the same draft, which is weird on why they, would sign him. But I guess to give him that extra little push, competition daily, I think it's going to be an actual good year for him. But overall, I feel like this is for a while now, this has been one of the weakest divisions. And now they actually pushing themselves, especially with the emergence of that boy CJ last year. But I definitely think the Texans are gonna win it again, and I think the Texans about to start something down there for sure.
This division is going to be a lot closer with all four teams than it's probably been in a long time. Titans have gotten significantly better.
Quarterback still trash.
Hey, give Will Levis a chance, man. You got the Jaguars, who are the Jaguars. They've been a pretty good team for the past few years. Just need to get over that. I thought you were going
somewhere else with that. But yeah.
No, they just need to get over that hump that they seem to get stuck on every year. Texans probably made the biggest moves this offseason out of the division, picking up Danielle Hunter on the defensive end and trading for Stephon Diggs. And then you have the Colts, who probably one of the best D-lines in the league. They're always in the division race, no matter how terrible they may seem on paper. Them boys come to play. Who do they have at quarterback?
Anthony Richardson.
Oh yeah, he's coming back. That's why, bro. It was Gardner Minshew. It wasn't coming from me.
No, that boy
but
Gardner then went to the Ravens. I'm not Ravens, Raiders.
It's gonna come down to between the Jags and the Texans. I feel like the Texans are gonna edge it out just because I feel like they're a little bit more established as a team. They have CJ Stroud, who's proven that he can play up there with the top elite quarterbacks. Best quarterback out of the draft as of right now. And then you got Stephon Diggs. I mean, there's not much I really need to say about Stephon Diggs. He's a playmaker on offense. He completely changes the game for offenses, and I feel like we're going to see a lot more from CJ Stroud now that he actually has that number one option to go along with Nico Collins and Tank Dell, who are already had probably monster seasons under CJ Stroud already. I feel like the Texans are going to be a fun team to watch this year, and I have them winning the division.
The boy Nico Collins got paid $90 million. $90 million.
Trying to tell you, the mad in me wants to say the Colts because I play with them boys, but being real, I don't even think it's going to be a race. I think the Texans going to smoke everybody. I honestly think the Texans could be the number one seed in the AFC this year. Just because CJ Stroud was a rookie last year, but he was a top 6 quarterback in the NFL last year. And you upgrade that by adding Stephon Diggs. Now in the locker room, there's been rumors that he's a wild boy. But talent-wise, you got Stephon Diggs, Nico Collins, Tank Dell, along with them picking up Joe Mixon from the Bengals at running back. I mean, they got Dalton Schultz, I believe, at tight end. So, I mean, at the end of the day, that defense was biting last year, too. They got a defensive-minded head coach. Will Anderson was also a rookie last year. They had the Rookie of the Year on the offense and defense. I expect Will Anderson to be a beast again next year, especially with Danielle Hunter, who would be on the number 1 edge rush on a lot of teams, is the number 2 on this team. That the defensive line is going to be very good. I expect their secondary to be very good if Derek Stingley could stay healthy. Honestly, I can't really find much of a weakness with this team. And like I said, I think they could be the number 1 seed in the AFC come playoff times, especially if you expect growth from CJ Stroud with him going into his second year. So, yeah. On the other teams, man, it's just more so the Jags, I don't think they have a number 1 receiver. I think they have very good number 2s. I don't think they did enough to help Trevor. And I think that's a sentiment that other Jacksonville natives seem to agree with. The Colts, I love the selection of Brock Bowers. I just got to see more from Anthony Richardson. Got to see him stay healthy. And then it was the Titans. They did massively improve, but we got to see more from Will Levis, in my opinion. He did show some potential, but we got to see more. I just don't think – I think those teams are okay, but I don't think they're anywhere near the Texans, in my personal opinion. Next, we have the AFC West. That includes the Broncos, Chiefs, Raiders, and Chargers. Broncos, Chiefs, Raiders, and Chargers. Who you got winning that?
Is that even a question?
You could have skipped this one.
Yeah. Is that even a question, man? I got the best quarterback in the world. Man, make his receivers look good. MVS.
Anybody look good.
Yeah, man. MVS. He had Rashee Rice out there. Pretty much, he had Rashee Rice out there looking like how he was when he was driving the damn car before the accident.
Peter!
But, man, hey, and then, honestly, I got the Chiefs making it to the bowl again, winning the bowl. That's my Super Bowl prediction. Every team looks good on paper. Every defense looks good on paper until they run into the likes of Patrick Mahomes. And their defense, for them not to have that many big names on defense, their defense is really good. You got Nick Bolton holding it down at the linebacker position. Chris Jones, now that they got his contract situation figured out, he can come back and play to his full potential with a full training camp and everything. Trent McDuffie, that man had a really good season last year, and I'm looking to see he'll probably build off that. Best tight end of all time. Top 5 tight end of all time, Travis Kelce. I mean, Man really can't be guarded
Top
at
two.
most points. Oh yeah. So, and then who was it? They have another DN that's really good. He was a rookie last year. What was his name?
I got his name. I got his face in my mind.
I
Can't
got his
remember.
face too. I was literally just playing on Madden with him. Man, I
I
can't
forgot
do.
where he was, but he came from Iowa, right?
Yeah, man, I can't do dude like this, bro.
Yeah,
You
he
can
was.
go by.
Yeah.
I'll come back to it, but yeah, I got the Chiefs running away with that division.
I'm just going Chiefs. You go B.
um. Yeah, I got the Chiefs as well. Don't need much explanation, but I did like the addition of Hollywood Brown. I think he's gonna have a monster season this year. With Patrick
Hey,
Mahomes throwing him the ball, especially him going deep. Um, the only the Raiders are the only ones who could potentially make it interesting. I think they have a lot of good players. The defense need to step up, but I think Antonio Pierce is gonna get them boys right. Um, what can I say? Losing Josh Jacobs and having Gardner Minshew as your starting quarterback was tough.
ugly.
That's very tough. Yeah, I got the Chiefs on a landslide with this one, honestly. And the Chargers, new head coach, and I think Jim Harbaugh. It's going to take. I think second year is when Harbaugh teams improve the most when he gets his personnel for his schemes. Um, and I like to pick up with Gus Edwards and them too. So they're going to be tough nose, and I like their defense. They got a lot of star players. Actually, I probably have the Chargers coming in second in this division, but I like the Chiefs to win the division.
Hey, the defense gonna have to score all the points. What weapons?
Hey, Herbert, hey, if you the top quarterback, you got to make who you got look,
No,
you know what I'm saying, better than what they
I
are.
love Herbert. I love
Yeah,
Herbert. I've been a big, what I'm saying, advocate for him for sure, for sure. He ain't got no weapons.
yeah.
So,
He ain't got no weapons, man. How you come in and get rid of all the offense?
He probably didn't think they was that good.
Yeah, money too. Money
Yeah.
too.
it was more money issues.
Yeah, because you
I
had to
think.
pay both ends and Khalil Mack, Bosa, and what's his name got paid, I think, last year.
Now, even I think they
Edwin,
restructured Khalil Mack's contract.
okay. And then the number 3, Derwin James.
Yeah,
Did he get
yeah.
paid? He got paid last year or the year before, but he got a big contract.
I don't know. Yeah, they got a lot of money tied up into their defense. That's what I do know.
Yeah. Well, moving on to the NFC.
No, we on to the NFC. We getting
Yep,
through them.
yeah,
Getting
NFC.
through them. NFC East, the Cowboys, Giants, Eagles, and Commanders. We know who not gonna win this one, but who y'all got winning this division?
Yeah. We know the Commander's not going to win. If that's what you.
Nah, the Giants definitely not gonna win.
This division is in my eyes, it's a lot more trash than what people probably think, bro. Bro, come on, bro. I'm a Giants fan. Giants suck.
Go
Commanders suck.
ahead. Yeah, go
Cowboys,
ahead.
we know what the Cowboys do. The Eagles do all that work for what? To not make the Super Bowl last year. They took a step back last year, if you ask me, because what they got blew up by the Bucks or something in the playoffs. They took a step back.
Yeah, they did.
Dak Prescott can't seem to perform when he needs to. With all that being said, it's a two-team race, if you ask me. Eagles, I have them winning the division by probably 2 games over the Cowboys. Cowboys probably making it to the wild card, but that's not going to be a fun division to watch, even as a Giants fan.
Wild card is crazy.
Big time. So yeah, man. I'm on Madden. I am the Cowboys daddy. Like that, the old boy said over here in Denver. I'm not a fan of the Cowboys, aka the Cowgirls. But do got respect. They are a really good team. The last 3 to 4 seasons, 12 wins. I mean, you can't refute that. No matter how good they look or how ugly they look. Eagles. Yes, last year was a very rocky road. Jalen Hurts was nipped and tucked. Um, the defense wasn't so great, getting a little older on the older end.
Long
They
in the tooth.
definitely, what's up?
I said long in the tooth.
There you go.
Mhm.
Yeah, them boys, especially coming off that great year of all them sacks they had the previous year, I just think they just hit a wall. And it wasn't. I think they're gonna bring it back that heat back this year. Um, like I said, definitely not a fan of the Cowgirls, even though they still might get some good wins. The Eagles, I'm rooting for y'all. They ain't gonna show not the Giants. Hope they don't win no game.
I'm crying.
Donut.
Yeah, I think I do think it's a two-team race too. But at the same time, the Eagles, I love what they did in the draft. Howie Roseman, probably the best drafting GM in the league, picking up Cooper DeJean and who went first round? Terrion went to Detroit. They picked up one other high draft pick. I'm not sure if it was Kool-Aid. They picked up one other really good deep. Oh no, Quinyon Mitchell. It was Quinyon Mitchell. Then the second round they picked up Cooper DeJean. So their secondary, I expect to improve. Um, they replaced the coordinator. I think they hired Vic Fangio this year. So I
Mhm.
expect that defense to come to play in that offense to be good enough. And I expect them to have a very high win total. But I'm gonna go with the Cowboys to win the division. I just think they got the best team in the division, talent wise. Coaching, I would probably lean more towards the Eagles. I think it's going to be a tough race, but I expect both of those teams to win in the double digits of games, right around. If I had to set the over under, I would put it at 10 and a half, both of them.
Okay.
So I think it's going to be a tough race there. I think they both going to be two of the most talented teams in the conference, not just the division. But I think the Cowboys perform really great in the regular season. The playoffs is a different story, but
Yeah,
regular season, I think the Cowboys gonna edge it out. Cowboys fans, get in the comments and let us know how y'all feel about what these gentlemen said about y'all teams.
yeah.
Um, we got the NFC North. We got Chicago, the Lions, Packers, and Vikings. Who y'all got winning that division?
You can go first, Byron.
This is a very shaky division right here, for sure, for sure. I mean, everybody's upstarts basically. Got a young quarterback, Caleb. The a surgeons of the Lions, Packers getting Jordan Love to build up, and
Golf
then
at
you
the
got
Lions.
JJ, huh?
I said golf at the Lions.
Yeah, yeah, got golf. Um, it's gonna be tough, man. But to be honest, I really like the Packers' chances. I really like the Packers. I mean, they picked up Josh Jacobs. That line is phenomenal with the wonderful playing of Jordan Love last year. And everybody's young. I believe they had one of the youngest teams in the NFL last year. So I mean, with youth, you're only gonna get better, especially with what they did. I'm gonna go Packers. I'm gonna go Packers, man. I'm gonna go Packers. They're gonna fight it out with the Lions. And I mean, I ain't even gonna discount the Bears because I feel like even with the rookie quarterback, they're gonna have a really, really great team. Defense playing really great towards the end of the year last year. I think it's gonna be a three-team fight. Vikings, their defense is just trash. Offense is decent, subpar, but the new rookie quarterback, obviously, I don't really think they're gonna have a fight this year. So it's gonna be a three-team race. But I think the Packers might pull it out this year, man, and win the AFC North.
I'll go real quick. I think it's gonna be the Lions. Um, I think the Lions, they had the 49ers on the ropes. They had them boys 21-6 late in the game. I think going to halftime, and they just couldn't stop the run. And the 49ers came all the way back and winning. And I remember watching that game in the Lions showboat. Like they was smashing the 49ers. And we all know that that game was the NFC Championship. So I think the Lions, with them picking up Terrion Arnold in the draft, they
Love him.
also picked up somebody else, either from draft or free agency, cornerback Carlton Davis from the Buccaneers, Super Bowl winning Carlton Davis from the Buccaneers, and that was their biggest weakness on the defense, was the cornerbacks. They got Jack Campbell, of course, Aiden Hutchinson, one of the best defenders in the NFL, period. And I think they got some more help. I can't remember exactly what his name was along the defensive line right now. I think defensive tackle. Detroit fans, y'all get in the comments, let me know. But I got the Lions pulling it out this year, especially with Amon-Ra, Penei Sewell, Jared Goff getting their big contracts. They know they're going to be there. They're comfortable. I expect the Lions to win.
Only reason I didn't pick the Lions, Dan Campbell. I love him. I love him. It's just his decision making sometimes, man. Like, I take it back to remember when we played. I forgot who we played. We played some team, and I think Coach had asked us, "Do you want to kick the ball, or should we go for it?"
Oh, yeah.
Like,
First back.
I'm on the side. Go for it.
Yeah.
But yeah, nah. I think a lot of the coaching decisions that Dan Campbell makes. He's a wonderful, phenomenal coach. Don't want to take nothing away from him. I just think just those small key plays or decisions that he makes sometimes hinder the team from winning.
You think he's too aggressive or too conservative?
Aggressive sometimes. I think he's too aggressive sometimes. And aggressiveness is great. I love it. It's about picking and choosing your moment. Like you said, for example, that game, I felt like it could have been a lot better because he is a defensive head coach.
Yeah.
Y'all could not stop, like you said, could not stop the run. Like, you got to draw up something, man. You got to make up something. Like, when your players aren't filling those right gaps, filling those right holes to stop something, you have to scheme it. You got to scheme those guys in the hole. And that's your job. I understand, yeah, you're a head coach, you're thinking about a lot of other stuff, but I know you got a defense. You are the defensive coach. Make the right decisions, put these guys in the right positions. Like you said, they improved in the secondary, which will help Aiden Hutchinson and the defensive line as well. You know, give him more opportunity to get back there, giving them more time. But just his decision making just has to get a little bit better in a lot of those key moments.
Sure. Oh, sheesh. Cubs. We're talking about, say, Chicago Cubs.
Okay.
We got the Bears, Packers, Vikings aren't going to be in that conversation this year, I don't think. So in the division, I have it between Packers and the Lions. Jordan Love showed a lot last year. I believe he was the most blitzed quarterback in the league. And the numbers when he was blitzed, he excelled at. Like, I think he was top three to top five in every statistical category when it came to that. And then, you just have the rookies on the green, or the receivers on the Packers. No matter how bad, well, not bad, how decent I thought they were, they overperformed for what they did, for what they needed. I feel like that could be a trend with them. They have a decent O-line. They have a good defense led by Jair Alexander. And then you got the Bears. Even though they stacked up on offense, still feel like defense is going to be a pretty big issue for them. And then you got the Lions, who out of all three teams, I feel like probably got better the most at where they needed it. Like Brock said, at the DB position. Got Aiden Hutchinson some more help. Got Terrion Arnold, a good rookie that I feel like can come in and produce right off rip. He's a dog. And then you got Jared Goff, who showed his resurgence, showing that he is a good quarterback in this league and he can do what he needs to do. Got a good tight end in Sam Laporta. And then he just got the receivers. It's a well-balanced offense led by Jared Goff and the two-headed running back monsters. I don't know if David Montgomery's still there, but I know they still have Jahmyr Gibbs, who him and himself is a great running back to have. I have the Lions winning this division.
And then, okay, the NFC South. We got the Falcons, Panthers, Saints, and Bucks. So Falcons, Panthers, Saints, and Bucks. Yeah, this might be the most trash division. But yeah,
Yeah.
I'll
Kurt
take
Chain.
that. I'll take that.
Kurt,
I'll take
Go ahead.
that.
you said what?
I'll take that as long as we ain't the trash division.
So the Falcons,
that-
Panthers, Saints, and Bucks. Who you got, Khalil?
I mean, Falcons, no. Honestly, if I had to pick the top 2 teams in the division right now, it'd probably be the Saints and the Bucks. Probably have the Bucks kind of edging out this division. Who knows? Maybe the division winner gonna go 8-9 and win the division. Baker Mayfield showed that he can be a pretty good quarterback in the league. You still have Mike Evans, who's proven time and time again that he's a good, reliable receiver to have. You got Chris Godwin out there. Their defense is a little bit shaky, and they just lost Carlton Davis. But I really don't think that's going to be a factor, at least when it comes to their division. As, like Brock said, this is probably the trashiest division in the league right now. If you're a Bucks fan, I guess enjoy the ride. Baker Mayfield's probably going to have another good season. Like I said, the only thing you really have to worry about is Alvin Kamara and them Saints. Because I feel like even the Saints overexcelled last year for what I pictured for them. But they still are a big threat to the Bucks, as by the time the season starts and gets going, who knows? I feel like the team that's going to win the division is a team that's just going to get hot at the right time, if that makes sense. But I'm going to choose the Bucks.
I'm interested to see who you gonna pick, man. Out of these 4 teams, Bucks,
just like
Saints,
Khalil,
Panthers, and Falcons.
just like Khalil saying, man. Probably the 2 best teams in this division is the Saints and the Bucks. And unfortunately, they're the 2 oldest teams in the division, the Saints and the Bucks. Their teams are slowly depleting. I really love with the resurgence of Baker Mayfield. I've always liked him for some reason. I really think he's a decent quarterback.
You like cocky people. Brian admires cocky people. He admires confidence.
I'm a very strong believer in, if you work very hard at your craft, you have all right to boast yourself a little bit.
Thanks.
I'm a very firm believer in that. And there's a thin line between cockiness and confidence, for sure. I feel like when he first came in, Baker Mayfield was a very confident guy. Once that boy started getting all those State Farm commercials and the Cleveland is my house, yeah, that's when it boosted over to cockiness. But I feel like once he's been humbled, obviously, since he's been in LA, been on these couple stops, now he's back to confident Baker, which is good. You played really good last year. You know what I'm saying? Your touchdown to interception ratio was great. You took care of the ball and you got the Bucks to a playoffs. You won a playoff game. I feel like they're gonna build on that with a good amount of draft picks that they got last year. I love the Saints. Saints are one team in the NFL, or that one team in the NFL besides maybe like the Steelers. They gonna fight. They might not be the best team, but they gonna punch you in the mouth. They always gonna punch in the mouth. They who that nation, and they gonna fight. But I feel like the Bucks gonna win it out like they did last year. I think they won it out with like 9 games. So if they can get to that 9-10 game range, I think they're gonna win it out again.
I had to completely disagree with both of these gentlemen. I'm gonna go with the Falcons.
That's because your guy. Oh, I was gonna say I thought you were gonna go with the Saints. I was gonna say that's because your guy over there.
Nah, I'm gonna go with Jameis? Jameis with the Browns, man.
Yeah, I know he gone now. Yeah.
Yeah. Now if they would have had Jameis, it'd have been different. But in all seriousness, I got the Falcons winning this division. I think Kirk is, if he can stay healthy, I think he performs well in the regular season. Got, I ain't gonna say the best collection of weapons, but it's close to his best collection of weapons. I think Drake London's gonna be elevated. Kyle Pitts, Bijan. They have another running back. I think his last name is Algier.
Oh yeah.
They got
Fast.
him.
He's
What happened?
fast.
I said,
Yeah.
oh
He's
yeah.
fast.
They got a
Moving.
I believe I'm forgetting the receiver, but they got a good collection of talent, a solid offensive line. Not the best. I think they're above average offensive line. And that defense, I expect to be a lot better, especially with a brand new coaching staff. Raheem Morris, I don't think he was the best hire, but he is a good defensive coach, and I think he's gonna have them playing. He's gonna have them ready to play. He's gonna have AJ Terrell, and I like some of the pieces that they picked up in the draft. Got a lot of young pieces. It's a very young team, but they did pick up a couple veteran pieces that I like. And again, if Kirk can stay healthy, but even with Michael Penix, if he has to step in, hopefully he doesn't. But I got the Falcons winning this division. I just don't believe as much as in the Bucks. They lost Carlton Davis. They lost a couple pieces, including Shaq Barnett as well. And then it was the Saints. I just think the Saints have a collection of very good players and not so good players, and it kind of gives them a lot of holes on their roster. I don't think Derek Carr is that guy, and honestly, I don't think their coach is that guy. Dennis Allen as well. I do like their first round pick, Troy from Oregon State, but I just don't see. I think the Saints have more opportunity, like Khalil has said previously, about getting hot. I mean, not the Saints, the Falcons getting hot at the right time and going on a significant run here where they win about 4 or 5 games in a row. And in this division, I think that's going to be the separator. So I'm going to go with the Falcons there. Our last division, we made it here, y'all, is the NFC West. You got the Cardinals, the Rams, 49ers, and Seahawks.
Man, that's the same thing, bro. Bro, just get that jump to the 49ers, bro. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, so
You think so? I mean,
yeah.
Obviously, I feel like I kind of see where y'all boys going. I love the 49ers. I really think they're a really, really, really great team. But I feel like after y'all see what the Rams did last year, man. Obviously, they didn't do a lot, but they still got up there with
Yeah,
nothing.
Matthew wasn't healthy last year. Matthew Stafford.
Yeah, they got up there with nothing. Like not an unhealthy quarterback. Sean McVay is a really great coach. I love him. I think he's a really, really great guy. He put up points. He was that one, especially when the Rams was like with Todd Gurley, like they was putting up points like crazy. I feel like
but you're losing the best defender in the league, arguably the best of all time. Now, I love my Florida State guys, Fisk and Verse.
And that's what I was about to say. They picked up some really great young guys.
Yeah.
That can collectively try to simulate that greatness, which is gonna be very hard to do, obviously.
Very.
But I feel like it's not gonna be such a easy path for the 49ers to just take it away. I feel like it's gonna definitely be a secret fight because, like, I think LA Rams is gonna be like a dark horse this year, and I can kind of see that, like, because bro getting up on the end of the year, I feel like I feel like he's gonna come out and play out of his mind for his last. I feel like it's gonna be his last great season.
I got 49ers. What were you about to say?
I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. I got the Seahawks having a better chance at winning the division than the Rams.
Oh,
hot take. Well, I don't know if that's actually that much of a hot take, but
that's tough.
Yeah.
I mean, they were decently healthy last year, and the Rams still did better than them.
I don't expect the Rams to be healthy all year either. So
true. I mean, but
Stafford,
you say that about every team.
Between Stafford and Cooper Kupp, but the 49ers have more leeway when it comes to if somebody's not healthy. They are probably the epitome of super team in the league right now.
I don't know, man. They lose Brock Purdy.
Still has to prove. Purdy still has to prove, one, that he can play good without a lot of his weapons, because he still hasn't done that. And two, if he get hurt, it's a wrap. Like, who they got at backup?
I ain't gonna lie, bro.
Brandon Ayuk going out.
With the receivers, the O-line, and the defense they have, he gets hurt.
Christian McCaffrey too. Yeah.
He gets hurt. They shoot me about 500,000. I throw flat routes all game.
I'm crying, man. I ain't even throwing no route. Turn that being handed to Christian every time.
Straight up.
Christian
I got the
McCaffrey,
49ers
quarterback.
running away with the division, to be honest.
Jet sweep the Debo.
I think the 49ers, they honestly, if they could stay healthy, this might sound crazy, but honestly, I have them. They could potentially like do some 72 Dolphins type situation. Like they don't have any weaknesses on their team. Like they got all pro players at every level, from Charvarius Ward to Leonard Warner to defensive line Nick Bosa. Even though we ain't rocking with Nick Bosa, at least I ain't. Nick Bosa. They did lose Chase Young. You know, Brock Purdy. I don't know if he's a Pro Bowl level, but he's a good game manager. Christian McCaffrey, the offensive line. I forgot his name, but they call him like the Gorilla or something like that. It's Trent something.
Trent Williams.
Yeah. So they got Pro Bowlers at every level. Kyle Juicy. You know what I'm saying? George Kittle. They got Pro Bowlers literally in every position group on the team. So I got them running away with the division. Honestly, and again, y'all can quote me on this, it's fine. If they went undefeated or only lost like 1 or 2 games, I wouldn't be surprised. It's kind of what I expected them to be honest.
Definitely, yeah. Definitely number one seed, NFC.
Okay. Obviously, I know a lot of people didn't have a lot of faith in maybe last year or the year prior to Brock Purdy. But besides the quarterback, how many years have the 49ers, not of this caliber, had this level of team for the last few years?
Decent amount.
A lot,
probably
right?
like 5 or 6.
A lot, right?
Yeah.
And how many times did they make it to the Super Bowl? Not win it or anything, make it to the Super Bowl.
I know for sure. Obviously, they made it last year.
I think just that one time. No,
yeah,
besides when they made it with Cap.
No, they made it with Jimmy Garoppolo too. I think
they made it with Jimmy. No,
yeah,
that's when Cap was hurt. But yeah, that was that same. I think that was that same year.
So in the past, 13 years, I probably 3 times. Which is, that's a pretty good ratio.
Definitely a good ratio, but
I mean, you got Jimmy Garoppolo as your quarterback for most of those years.
I understand, but Jimmy's always been known as a winner, though. Don't discredit Jimmy now. Jimmy's always been known.
I'm just saying,
the league
Brock
as a winner.
Brock Purdy, in my opinion, is better than Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not questioning that whatsoever. I'm just
the 49ers made it.
Yeah. They've had everything these past few years, and it seems like every time they get there, it's just they've always been knocking at the door. They like the Celtics, like how the Celtics been these last few years. They just been knocking at the door, and they ain't got no key, and the bitch just looking through the peephole at them, like, no, you ain't coming in, not this year, like, so they can be as good as they ever been, but I just don't see them getting over that hump. Like,
it was 3 years they did in 2020. They made it to the Super Bowl versus the Chiefs. They made it to the Super Bowl Chiefs.
So it was the rematch. This year was the rematch. So and they lost again. But hey, they playing against Patrick Mahomes. But
best quarterback of all time.
Whoa. Okay. Hey. You know what? That's your take, and I respect it. So it is.
I ain't even hit a take. What was the take? Hold on.
Best quarterback of all time. When it's all said and done, he will be the best quarterback of all time.
Ooh.
No.
I'll let you tell it. When
it's all said and done, he will be the best quarterback of all time.
Absolutely not. Not better than Tom Brady at all, man. Come on.
When it's all said and done.
It's not even come on. It's not even
a
comparison.
When it's all
I'll
said
say
and done.
this, because I've seen it in these previous, like watching a lot of the sports shows. His first few years, obviously, he's undoubtedly questioned better than Brady.
What?
But Brady was a game manager his first couple years. Dip and dunk. Like you can go watch those films. You can go watch the film, go watch the tape. Like I ain't saying he was trash. I'm just saying he was not the offense. As he got up there, then Brady became the GOAT. Literally the GOAT. I'm not saying Brady not the GOAT. I'm with Brady on being the GOAT. I'm all for like that guy who he grinded. Like I said, he grinded to become the GOAT. And once you become the GOAT, you could say whatever you want. Do whatever you want. But his first 4 or 5 years, he was literally like, he was a good player. He wasn't but he was along for the ride with that team.
Oh my gosh. I'm sorry, man.
His first couple years.
As a diehard Jets fan, this is hard. I gotta finish, man. Bro, Tom Brady was not a game man. His first couple years, he won the Super Bowl his second year in the league. Like,
and how many games that year did he throw over 300 yards?
Probably a few of them. I can't say off the top of my head. But you got to remember
a couple games, maybe like.
But you got to remember the league was different during those times too.
Most
it was
definitely.
Still a lot more run oriented. So if you want to say Corey Dillon was the offense, then be my guest. But I just happen to disagree with that. I think that those teams. Corey Dillon, he was a good running back, but it was Brady. To me, it was Brady, the receivers. Brady was probably known as the GOAT probably after his 4th Super Bowl. He won 3 more after that. And he had a couple MVP seasons, a couple seasons where he had injuries. I don't know if the Bucs won a championship without Brady. That might have been their first championship. He's the quarterback that led 2 organizations to their first championship, got 6. He got 6 championships with the Patriots. In a couple years
with the Patriots again, though. That's why he left.
Now, but listen though, those first 4 years when he had all those weapons and he won those 2 rings, how many years? Well, the 3 rings. How many years from the separation of him winning those next 3 until he got actual more weapons? He didn't have no weapons. The team wasn't that. They were still whooping our ass, obviously, the Jets, but they weren't up out there like winning the Super Bowl. He was doing his thing though. I mean, Patriots will always be a staple for sure. But there was a lot of extent. There was a lot of extent between those Super Bowls.
No, but see, look at the standard we're holding them to. We're holding them to winning the Super Bowl. And those years,
definitely.
Yeah,
but that's what we're holding the Chiefs to. As of the past couple seasons, where the Chiefs don't win a Super Bowl, that is a disappointment.
Thanks.
And how many years has Patrick Mahomes been in the league? About 5 or 7, right? 5 to 7 years?
Yeah, around that 5, 6, yeah.
And in his 5 years,
half of them seasons,
he got what?
He got 3 rings, right?
I think he got 3.
3,
so
yeah, that's
3 rings
right
in
there.
his 4 or 5 seasons.
7. 3
on the same.
7.
Patrick Mahomes, how many years do you think Patrick Mahomes
got? That's what I was just about to ask. How many
years did Patrick Mahomes got left? He probably has a lot of great years left. Probably a lot more MVPs. But think about this though: are these Chiefs teams as good as those Patriots teams? I tend to disagree. Personally, I tend to disagree. Is Andy Reid? How long is he gonna coach?
But that's what makes it better.
That's what I was just about to say.
The Patriots have the better teams. And that Patrick Mahomes is still doing this. Like, look at his receiving core last year. Look at what he was dealing with.
Opposite for Brady.
Bro,
Brady.
But that's what I'm saying though. That's what I'm saying though. Patrick Mahomes, he's doing this right now. I don't expect this to continue long into the future as far as winning Super Bowls, because I think Andy Reid is probably the best head coach in the league right now. I don't know how long he has. Belichick had just got to New England. He had a whole 20-year run, a whole 2 decades in New England as the best GM and head coach in football. And I think Brady, I'm not sure how many MVPs he won. It's anywhere from 3 to 5. I think Patrick has how many? Help me out.
I think he got
2.
1 or 2. I think he got 1 or 2.
He might surpass Brady. I don't even know if he's going to pass Brady MVPs due to how the league set up and Lamar being in the league and a couple other quarterbacks. CJ, I expect him to win a couple MVPs. But I just think that Patrick is doing this right now. I don't know how long it's going to continue in the future. Me personally, I think 3 is a long way from 7. even when it comes to MVPs, Brady has significantly more. The years that they won in the playoffs, remember he lost to your Giants twice in the Super Bowl. In the years that he wasn't going to the Super Bowl, he was getting deep into the playoffs, lost to the Jets in the AFC Championship. Man, I think, and it's crazy to say this because he just retired. I think that Brady is already underrated. Like, I don't think anybody's close to Brady as being the greatest of all time. I honestly don't know how anyone can make
I agree with that 100%.
He
I
has
agree
the
with that
most
100%. I don't think
touchdowns, yards, games won. Like, what are we doing here? Most championships. Like,
I just feel like that era of football that Brady played in obviously was obviously I'm an older guy. I feel like that was a better competition and physical wise, a better like league back then. Now obviously it's more offensive centric. They won't let you, hit the same way. Obviously through hip tackle, all kind of stuff that's going on. But Pat, I don't think even with 5 rings, he will surpass Brady. So
even with 5, he'll
I don't
need
think
2
anybody
more and 2 more appearances.
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, I don't think even if he were to win 5 rings, like only 5 rings,
Yeah.
like obviously he's great. I don't think I think he's gonna be solid number 2.
Like at the end of a football game, everybody expects Brady's team to win. Like Brady, if he doesn't win,
that 2-minute warning,
if they don't win the game, it's a surprise. And this is the NFL, the highest level. And I'm probably so energetic right now. Let me calm down.